back, dear students. I hope you all are connecting with the activities that have been discussed through this online session and the videos. Today, we are still continuing the chapter Population Dynamics, and here we are about to begin the impact of overpopulation. After getting the brief ideas about the underpopulation and overpopulation, what impact does it have on a particular country, we shall discuss here. So let's understand here with the points. The first one is congestion in the cities. In the sense, the cities become lots of crowded, and this crowded population makes it very uneasy for all sorts of life in cities. At that time, we can see that there is a lots of increase into the crime rates in the crowded cities because of the unemployment, because majority of the people are not able to get the job to sustain the life, so they are free, and as they are not able to get the jobs, they are turned towards the crimes because to sustain the life. So more number of crime rates we can see into the most populous areas and the cities. There is a breakdown of infrastructural facilities and uncontrolled rise in the number of people causes a social economic chaos and disequilibrium. There is no stability into the society. It's because of the standard of living. The infrastructures have not been developed in a proper way, and here we can see the social economic chaos, means lots of gap between the society and the economic status of the people, and this causes equilibrium. It's an imbalance, so there is no proper balance maintained. For example, try to understand this concept with the help of Mumbai city. In Mumbai city, one area is a fully occupied by the very poorest people in Dharavi, but in the same city we can try to find it out one of the richest and the posh areas where the high class people live. So that socio-economic imbalance we can easily see into the crowded cities. Environment causes to have lots of pollution, and that pollution is there: air pollution, water pollution, land pollutions, and that is in a very great quantity. Health and sanitation of urban citizens suffer. Health problems people face because the number of hospitals are less, facilities are limited, but the people are more and more. So it is a very great burden on the society and also on the government to provide the better health and sanitation facilities. Since manual labor is chiefly available because of what? Lots of number of people. Now in this case what happens? The rich people or the businessmen try to exploit these people by giving them lower and lower wages. So they are forced to work on lower and lower wages. That causes to have the proper exploitation of the poor people. And the last one we can see, there is a class conflict. Class in the sense rich and poor, because there are huge differences in the standard of living. The rich people become rich, so their lifestyle is a very high and the standardized one, and poor people, as they are suffering to get the 2 times of food because of the lacks of jobs are available, they remain in a very poor strata, and because of that we can see there is a lots of class conflict into the populous cities. These are some of the common impact we can see of the overpopulation in that particular areas, and that can be easily visible in our localities too. So try to understand and find out the crowded cities in the country. Discuss about underpopulation. There are two countries, Canada and Australia. These are the very vast countries, and these countries, though they are vast one, though the population is very limited one, these are developed countries, and that fact is a very important one. But in the history of these two countries, it is said that if they have a good number of population, then they can be more developed one because of the resources available in that countries. So Canada and Australia started giving the permissions to the immigrants means the people, those who are coming from the other countries to work in Australia and Canada. So they started giving them lots of boost up in order to utilize the resources. Though they are developed, they can be more developed one. So there was a focus on that. But recent years, they have changed their policies. It's because of uncertain economic and climate, and also the countries are more selective in terms of immigration, because only population coming to these countries is not that beneficial for them. So they try to select the best people, those who are very useful for the country's development. So they are more selective in such cases, and because of that they have reduced the number of immigrants in their countries. These countries are very large one in size, and some of the areas of these countries, if we just take a look at, are inhospitable. Here human beings cannot live, though they are developed one. Then what are the problems or the impacts of overpopulation of any country? We can see the first one, dearth of manual labor. Dearth means lack of manual labor. As the population is less, people are getting lots of job facilities there. Jobs are more, people are less. So here the manual labor requirement is more, but the people are less. So there is a scarcity of manual labor available in that countries. Underutilization of natural resources, as natural resources are abundant and the people are less. So that much quantity of natural resources are not utilized by the people in that country. There is a slow growth of economy because of lack of demand. The demand is not there from the people because people are less, so they are not demanding more and more things. So natural resources are not utilized in that proper way. And the last one, low standards of living. People here are not that much advanced one because they do not want it to have the lots of resources utilization in their life. So what do? They just try to use the minimum resources and are happy in that only. So these are some of the impacts of underpopulation. Next point to discuss, that is factors controlling the population concentration. Means now we at least got some idea that somewhere in the world there is a population concentration. Means some part of the countries or some countries are only populated, though there are more than 200 countries are located in the world. Then why some specific countries have the population concentration? And that is a matter of study. We shall be dealing right now in this part. The distribution and density of population is not determined by only one factor. There are various factors responsible for that, and these factors are physical, then economical, and social factors. And these factors work together in combination. Because of that, we can see the population in some countries is concentrated and some countries it is less. And it is very difficult to isolate the effect of any one factor on the distribution of population. Means in majority cases only one factor is not responsible for the concentration. There is a combination of all these factors, some or the other causes to have the concentration of population in the area. So we shall be discussing these all points one by one, and we'll learn about how do they affect the population concentration. The first point is natural and physical factors. In the natural and physical factors, we have the climate, then relief features, the soil types, flora and fauna, in the sense birds and the trees and the flowers, and the availability of water. Then reserves affect the population of place. So these are some of the factors that comes in the natural or physical factors. Let's take a look at how do they affect. The first one is climate. The major part in the population concentration is affected by the climate, because it is the tendency of the people to settle in the areas where there is a favorable climate, and that is quite natural for all the human beings. So we can try to find it out that there are some tropical areas and some temperate regions. These regions are considered as the most suitable climatic conditions for the people. That's why, and some areas which are very hot and dry, just like deserted conditions, in that areas the population is very sparse. So hot areas less population, temperate and tropical areas dense populated, just like India, where the population is good one because of the favorable climate. Next point, relief feature. Relief feature in this is physical features. In that we can see the slope, the topography, and mountainous areas also affect the population. For example, plain areas. In the plain areas and the gentle slope areas, the population is more because it's very easy to sustain the life there. But on the other hand, if you see the life onto the rugged or high elevated grounds, just like the highest mountains, very rugged terrain, there it is very difficult to sustain the life. So these factors or these places are not favorable for the people. But the plain lands, gentle slopes areas are very favorable for the people to live, because they can set up the houses there, they can build the roads and the transports there. Industries also can be settled very easily. That is the reason. So one example we can try to understand. Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Hyderabad, these metropolitan cities in India are well densely populated because of what? The land area available there. But in Arunachal Pradesh, where there are lots of forests are present or the mountainous areas are there, there the population density and distribution is very less because of rugged terrain. That is how the relief features affect. Next, types of soils. Fertile soil boost up agriculture and other activities too, just like agro-based industries and others. So the density of population is more in the agriculturally favorable land. And these type of soils also suggest and support the intensive agriculture. For example, Bangladesh delta, which is made up of Ganga and Brahmaputra rivers. There we can see lots of loamy and fertile soil, good enough for the agriculture, and here largest amount of population in the world we can see. So river deltas are also very favorable for the population density.